Grand solar minimum forecast out, our Earth is heading into a mini ice age. We're going to be looking for amplification effects from this point forward. In my opinion, this is one of them. Worst winter storm in 30 years hitting Cape Town. Also, most destructive fire in recent memories. Looking back in history in the last 160 years, October only had 7 snowfalls in South Africa, 4 of them in 2016. Those snowfalls were so intense they had trouble even counting the amount of peaks that were covered. Only one instance of November snows throughout the entire history of South Africa, November 2015. Look at other trends in Africa. Rainfall 2015, Accra massive floods, Accra 2016. Expect more floods this year, 2017. Record cold in Nairobi. And we are descending into this grand solar minimum. Above is 1550 to 1750. Below is 1800 to 2200. Notice the difference how quickly we descended into and out of the grand solar minimum. The intensity of this one is going to be faster, and these are the effects you're going to be looking for. And while you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030. So the forecast of our Earth entering the grand solar minimum right in front of you here. From this point forward, our weather is going to start to get so out of phase that I'm going to call it an amplification effect. So 1 unit of measurement of all the amplification from 2015 to 2016 is 1 unit. In the last half of 2017, we're going to experience as much change as we did over the entire last year. And as we get into 2018 and 19, that is going to go up 4 times. So what I mean by amplification is events just like this that are going to become the absolute norm, which is going to affect our crop production globally. Worst winter storm in 30 years hits Cape Town. Cyclonic low for sure coming off on this winter storm. Weather officials calling it one hell of a storm. That is a bold statement. Hurricane force winds plus. A bunch of nice videos here on the watchers. And at the same time, the largest fires in recorded memory, with these strong winds fueling the fire ahead of the cold front. And then add on top of that the worst drought in over a century. Looks like the trifecta in South Africa. Now if we're going to jump back and take a look and see if there is a trend indeed happening entering this grand solar minimum, let's take a look at the last 160 years of snowfall and cold events through South Africa. Now remember, down in the southern hemisphere, October, November, December, that is the middle of summer. Using the find function on my computer, through this lengthy list, November snowfalls only come up once in 160 years, November 2015. Looking at October snowfalls only occurs 7 times, 4 of those being in 2016. Now we have the largest storm in 30 years. What's going to be in store for the rest of the summer down there? The other October snowfalls were 1990, 64 and 65, they're clumping together. And looking at December, this is actually the height of the summer. This would be like late July, early August in the northern hemisphere. It only occurred twice, 1950, 1970. Now speaking of looking at the trend, we just have to backtrack a couple years to see if we find anything. 2016, record cold temperatures, intense cold fronts, all-time record snows, so much snow in fact that they had trouble counting how many peaks were covered in snow after many of the storms. Now this graphic here is the northern and southern hemispheres of the sun entering into and exiting the modern minimum above in the 1650s and what we're going to be entering and exiting right now through the next 20 years from 2015 to 2035. You can see the intensity of going into this grand solar minimum is dropping off a cliff. It is going to be lightning fast. Modern minimum, they had several decades to prepare. We have about 2 years. Taking a look at Nairobi, record cold, 2016. And I love how the officials blamed the cold snap on global warming in Nairobi. But the cold weather did affect maize production. Also spinach, tomatoes, onions, and cabbage were worst hit, affected by the cold last year. And also looking for these trends, look for heavier rainfall events would also be an indication of atmospheric compression events and more cosmic rays creating more cloud cover. At 15,000, 18,500 feet, Accra, 2015 deluge floods. Accra 2016 deluge floods. Guess what's coming? Deluge floods 2017. Quick visit to Wood for Trees, showing you that the southern hemispheric temperatures are actually declining. The trends are evident. You just need to start to piece it together. And you'll understand why the Chinese have bought up all the desert in northern Africa. The rainfall is going to continue to increase there, and that's going to become a new breadbasket for the world. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. As these wind, snow, and rain events start to pervade our planetary weather systems, we're going to need to protect our food. Food for Liberty has a full set of geodesic grow domes from 202 up to 775 square feet. The woven polyethylene cover blocks out the harmful UV rays, which are increasing currently, which will affect crop production in the long term. And they have a full range of long-term food storage and heirloom seeds for you to sprout or plant in your own gardens. Foodforliberty.com/adapt2030.